Hello everyone, this is Wasim from Edureka and this is the part 2 session of the Django login system. In part 1 we established the fact how we are going to use Django, why we are using it, and how we have set up a basic front end or a home page for our login system. In this session we are going to work on the user authentication. So before we begin, let me get a quick confirmation if you guys can hear me or not. So if I'm audible to you guys, please type yes in the chat box. Now that I'm getting a lot of information, let's begin our session. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to Edureka for more exciting tutorials and press the bell icon to get the latest updates on Edureka. And if you're looking for a certification program, the link is given in the description box below. So without any further ado, let's begin our session. So this session is going to be about user authentication or login authentication, guys. So basically what we'll do is we will create a user on the admin app, and after that we will authenticate the user using a user creation form. So the very first thing that you would need for creating the user authentication or login authentication, you're gonna have to include a certain, right, which will be admin dot. Alright guys, this is actually Django dot contrib dot authentication dot URLs. I hope I'm not wrong, but these things you don't have to really memorize all these things, because you can easily find them on the user documentation pages. So just keep in mind that you have to make certain changes to the urls.py or settings.py file whenever you're making use of any certain functionality. But that's about it. You don't actually have to memorize everything, just to make sure that everything's working fine, because these are the bindings that you can just find on the official documentation as well. Alright guys, since we are using that for the home page, and let's just create this URL. So we'll go back to our page over here and we'll see if server is still running or it's not. So we'll run the server, and now again let's check. The Django is all giving us users login, users.logout, users password change done, password reset done, and users reset done. So I have all these URLs or the current paths, but none of them are matching actually what I have provided over here. So because I have not actually made that particular URL. So what we'll do now here is create a URL for our login page, and we will map it to a view as. So basically we have all these URLs. So let's just check what we will get if I click on users login. So it basically is trying to locate a template which does not exist at users login. So let's just see this template loader postmortem, which is trying to locate our HTML file with registration directory after templates. So what we'll do now here is we will create a registration directory over here, and inside the registration directory I will create an HTML file which will be login.html. So when we go back, we have this login page. So now here what we can do is we can create a login form, guys. So to do that, I will copy the login template that I've already made. So this is the login template, guys. I'll just show you. Okay, so this is my login template. Let's see what happens if I use the admin credentials that I've already created. Okay, so we do not have a page found over here, which is accounts profile, and it is going to that accounts.profile because I have given it the value, I mean the action is right. There are a few things that I need to talk about. So basically we have this form which has a method post, and action URL is also given, which is login, and we have the labels username and password, and we're using the form username and form password, whichever value that we are getting from over there in the input, we're going to send it back to check for the authentication. And after that we have this one label which is redirecting the page to register. So let me just show you how it's done. We'll go back. So if I click on register, I'll be redirected to this URL. And okay, if I give the correct values, all right, so I'll be redirected to accounts and profile. Since I have not created that URL and the view, I'm not able to go to this URL. So I'll just quickly show you. If I create a view for this, and I'll have to create the URL as well. Right, guys. So here we go. We'll create path, and the URL that we are finding is accounts profile views dot profile, and right, this field is actually for name. And guys, so we'll see what the output is. Okay, we're making a little mistake here. It should work fine now. All right, this is our profile. So if our login is authenticated, okay, we'll just go back to the home page, click on login. So right now I'll try to log in with the admin account that I've created. So if the login is authenticated, it will bring me to this URL, which is the profile. And if the authentication is not done correctly, it will bring us back to this URL only, because we have given the action over here in the login on HTML to login page only. So let's say if I give the value or give the URL to register. So when the values are not correct, it will take us to, okay, this is right guys, I can do this, or I can write it like this. Now when I go back, give any gibberish values, it will take me to register, which I have not yet created. So I'll change it back to what it was. Yes. So this is what we did with the admin account. Now what I want to do is I want to create a user, guys. So to do that, I'll go to the users and I'll add a user. So username, let's just say I'm taking at anything we can take. Let's just call it as Python or Python user. Password, we'll write very basic password, not very tough to remember. I'll save it. All right, so the password is too common, it says. So we'll write, let's just hope it's correct this time, because all right, so we have created a user, guys. Now we'll go back to the home, go to users. So we have one Python user again. Now again, let me just go to home page. We'll go to your login using the Python user. So if I log in, okay, I'm not able to log in. So I am able to go to the profile page. Since I've not rendered an HTML file for profile page, this is the safest bet. So let me just copy this whole URL and I'll just paste it here. I'm able to go to this profile. All right, so to create login authentication, what we did is we created a user using the admin page in our Django app, and after that we made a few settings changes. Basically, we made a new URL path which included the authentication URLs, which are nothing but that I've shown you guys. And using that, we have rendered this login.html file. So we have this home page which has, let's say, a product, and with that product we have a little description and add to cart button, and we have a login button. With this login button, we'll be redirected to a login form, inside which, if we are already authenticated, we'll be able to go to the profile page. But if we are not authenticated, what will happen is we will be sent back to this login page again. So now, in order to log in, we have to register. So for that purpose, we'll be creating this register now, which does not really have a URL right now. So what we'll do now, here we will create a view and a URL. So let's just create a view first of all, and we will return a simple HTTP response, just register here, and we'll create a URL as well. All right, so the URL will be register, and we will use views.register, and name we will keep it as register. So let's just check if we are able to load it. Yes, so we're getting a HTTP response. We are going to add or create a user. Now to do that, we will be making use of forms in Django. Okay, I'll just run the server. Okay, so we go to login. When we click on register now, we are going to this URL in which we have this HTTP response. So instead of that, we are going to replace it with an HTML file, guys. So for that, we'll render request register.html and a context. All right, guys. So now it will throw us an error saying that template does not exist at whatever URL that we have provided over here. So now what we'll do, we'll create a URL, and make sure you create all these files in the same directory that you're referring to. So we will check. Okay, so we're doing everything fine for now. Now what we'll do is we'll have to create, or from django.contrib.auth. And we have to import user creation form, and we will import user as well. Now we will create a form, right? And we will also pass the form in our. Okay, so now what we'll do, we will create a. Alright guys, so now what we'll do is we will create a form. Method will be post, and action is the same URL, which is register. Right guys, so after this I will pass CSRF token. It's basically for a security purpose, and I will pass my form here. And now let's just go and check. So we have our form, guys. So whatever information that I'm going to provide over here, all right, I'll have to create a submit over here, or we can call it as register as well. It's basically going to submit whatever value that we are giving over here. So now that we have created our form, we will go back to our view. So if request dot method is equal to post, right, form is equal to user creation form, request dot post, and we will save it. Or before that, we will check if form is valid, then we will save it. All right. Alright, so this save is basically going to save whatever form data that we have and put it inside the user. And this user creation form is, specifically designed for that purpose only. And after that, we will return, let's just call it HTTP response user created. Else, we go back to the form being user creation form. So let's just go. Okay, so we have an unbound local arrow. Alright guys, so let me just take a look at this. Okay, so I've just made few mistakes with the namespaces, and it should work fine now. Right, so we have a user creation form over here. So we'll create a new user now. So we will create a Python user 2, and we'll keep the password again very simple. And again, okay, so we have created the user, guys. So we'll go back to admin, check the users. So we have created the Python user 2 as well. So instead of getting this message that we are getting the HTTP response, we will, okay, so I've not imported redirect yet. All right, so I'm going to redirect to a URL. All right, guys, so we go to our home page, go to login. Now we have just created our Python user 2, and let's just, and we are able to log in, guys. So after that, we are going back to this is profile. All right, and instead of redirecting to the home page, we should just redirect to the login page. And to do that, I'll just replace it with this. Now when I click on log register now, I'm back to the register page, and I just create one more user. All right, and now when I submit, okay, the page is not found, so it's searching for registers users login. All right, so I forgot to mention this, so let's just see. Okay, the user must have been created, so we'll create another one. So right now we have created more than 4 users, so we are not going to need that many users, so we'll delete a few. All right, so our user here is Python 4, and when I log in, I am being redirected to the profile page, guys. So this is how you create a user. It's pretty easy, guys. I'm using this user creation form, so it's not a big deal. Now when I have this profile HTTP request, what I can do is using, okay, I'll just write as okay, wait a minute guys, I'm just trying to show you how you can use this user as well. So we have already imported user, so we'll create user, make a object. Let's just get the username from this. All right, and after this let's render a template inside which we have a request. We will have profile.html and we will have username. All right, so now when we log in, we are redirected to a template which does not exist right now. So we will create a profile.html. All right, so this, let's say, and over here what I want to do is, okay, let's just so welcome to your profile page, and this is username. So let's just see if we are able to get that. All right, so using the user class over there, we are able to get the username, and this is how we can get the values of current users. And after that, let me just create a button which will be, all right, we'll just give it a value first of all. It's going to be logout. All right, so this is our button. I totally forgot to apply the bootstrap over here, so I'm gonna do it again. And let's just go and check how it looks. And this is how I've created. There's a very basic registration form that we have created, and you can also create your custom forms. I'm just going to create a logout button. So we'll go to profile. So now what I want to do is I would just want to create a reference so that I will be able to go to this location, which will show me that I am logged out. So now what I have to do is I will where is the profile? All right, so there it is. I'll create href. All right, so this will do, and when I click on it, all right, so instead of a button also we can use a label as well. So I'm going to use the label. So now when I click on logout, I am logged out, but I'm still able to go to the profile page, which is a little alarming because even if I log out, I'm still able to go to the profile page. So we'll take a look at that, and we'll take care of that. Now if we go to logout, we are getting, or we are being redirected to this particular URL. So what now I'll do is I'll go to views and I'll create a view. Oh, wait a second guys. Now we'll create a logout view, a request, and we will return a redirect to users login. And we'll go to my URLs and we'll create a path, and this will be users logout, and we will use views dot logout, and we'll use the name as logout. So now again, let me just run it again. All right, so when I click on it, I'm still going on to the users logout. All right guys, so Right, wait a minute, guys. So, alright, guys. So let's check it again. So when we go to log out, we are being redirected to that page again. So we'll make a few changes here. So when I click on logout, I am being redirected to login, but I will still be able to go to profile. But so it's basically not logging me out completely. So before that, let me add from Django.contrib.auth. I want to import logout, and over here I'll use it log.request. So now when I click on logout, I'm being logged out of my session. Now the only thing remaining over here is restricting the access to this profile page without login. So to do that, I will have to import a decorator, which is nothing but login required. So now for any URL that I feel I want to restrict only to the login or the logged in users, I will write login required. So to go to login or to go to the profile page, there will be login required. So this is what it's going to happen because it's not logged in yet. So when I log in again, now I'm logged in. So I'm at my profile page. I'll copy this link to check if I'll be able to do that again or not. When I log out, I paste the URL again for profile, and I will not be able to go to that particular profile login URL because there is no way to get there. Now we'll go back to our login and log in with Python user. Now when I log in, I'm being redirected to this profile. Now we'll go back to home, and since I cannot add to cart, I have already logged in. So I will, okay, we'll check for the whole functionality again. So register page is also styled a little bit. So login page is also styled a little bit. The only page remaining that is looking incomplete right now is the accounts profile. Now this will be the navigation bar or the header of this web page. So basically what I'll do is I'll copy the template that I've already made. Alright guys, so this is a template basically which I have already made for my profile, and I'm going to remove these two forms here. Okay, so basically right now we have a header which has this particular label inside which whichever user is logged in is going to be present over here. Then there is a logout button. If I click on it, I'm being redirected to my login button again. So if I log in with Python user 2 now, there it is, Python user 2. And to do that again, I think by now you must have got the hang of it, guys. So with this, we have come to the end of the session, guys. So we have covered the Django login system in two parts. In the first part, we established a basic homepage for our login system. And in the second session, we have covered everything that is required in a login page. We have created a login form. There is a registration form. We have made sure that login is required to access the profile page. And if you have any questions, guys, you can mention them in the comment section below or reach out to us at Edureka community. Post your queries there. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to Edureka for more exciting tutorials and press the bell icon to get the latest updates on Edureka. Also, if you're looking for a certification program, the link is given in the description box below, guys, and we have a lot of certifications regarding Python and web development. You can go on edureka.co and check out all our certification programs. And also we have a tutorial on login system using Flask as well. So if you're looking to work on a micro framework, you can check that out as well. So thank you guys and have a nice day.